Nice to meet you. Pleasure. How are you?
Nice to meet you too. Sweet is my mom.
How are you doing? Lovely to meet you. Pleasure. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we're working together. Now full time.
We met already.
Yeah. So I checked my grade and I passed, so I'm actually really graduating.
Are you calling us right now?
Are calling us?
Chuck wasn't there, by the way. Sorry. Much more important job than mine. Sorry?
I can hear everything.
Does this thing go in the front?
So, let's start small.
Slide under. You can slide in. What's the turn?
Sarah.
No, it doesn't look stupid.
Alright, Sarah, what if not flipping? You quit.
Now watch me.
Three.
And the blue ones are for and the red ones
I like it. You don't see anything. Just walk and see.
Yeah, take your time. Sarah was telling me this.
One time,
My brother is really like this local art. What's this? Like me and Lizzie and I over there was a dream.
turn, points up right hand.
well, at least make a loop. So they're on the forward. Down there, over there.
Hit the tree. They catch up. And then
Come back.
How long would that take?
jump over.
Put your power up. It's the sound they have. 3,000
I already died. Can I try again?
I figured that
To do it.
we've traveled.
6 more seats, I found.
It's a lot of variables. And that's the only thing that I've never seen. And we were both in that's what I want to do. Talk about like anytime I'm traveling. Trade shows. I love the videos. So
Right.
without 2 days.
Well,
Don't forget to duck.
Mount Rainier, and you go north to Seattle. We see the people space.
I got burned
No,
up.
you gotta get the flower up. Well, we've been on it. Seems like all three weeks. Wait for Joy again. Get Joy. Yeah. That's one of the things we don't want. That's what all we want. That was probably worth it. He's done that. No? 1 2 weeks. You ever been on those? Never. Once a week. On a cruise. One time. They were happy.
So welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony of the mathematics department. I think most people are there, so I would like to start. My name is Luke Helming, I'm the department head. We started the tradition a number of years ago to have a graduation speaker in mathematics, and we are very pleased that today we have Maggie Laflamme, who will be giving a wonderful graduation speech. And I think this far, not to put the pressure on her, our speeches have been way better than the one that will here tomorrow in the Coliseum in person. So let me tell you 2 things about our graduation speaker. He graduated from NC State in 2001 with the BS in Applied Mathematics and a minor in French. So she will give a speech in French. While at NC State, she was a Park Scholar, a member of the Honors Program, and received the Parents Leadership Award. Upon graduation, Maggie moved to Boston to pursue a career in finance. After 2 years working at State Street Research, she decided to change careers and became a high school math teacher. Maggie then completed MS in mathematics at Tufts University and moved back to North Carolina. Maggie is still very active with the Park Scholars Program. She's also currently Vice President of the Fund Alumni and Friends Advisory Board. And she was also active in the Fund Student Ambassador recruitment process. So please welcome our graduates.
True. Okay, but can you hear me? Ready to go like that. Okay. This is just, back in the day, it's actually not that long ago when the whole apartment did not live in this building. I've never used anything this fancy. So if you can't hear me, give me a shout. I've been a high school teacher, so I'm used to people yelling at me. So go ahead. Okay? So good afternoon, and thank you so much for that kind introduction. He's already offered me the slot for the next 6 graduations. I told him we might want to wait a few minutes and see if he wanted to sign that contract. I definitely want to start by saying congratulations. This is such a special day, and I'm so excited to be here with you. I remember, believe it or not, when I was graduating, and I remember this ceremony as being the most special. So that's a good day. Well, NC State is very near and dear to my heart. The years that I've spent here have really kind of shaped who I am today. I am a woman who stands here before you with a recurring nightmare about Carrollton Hall, searching for a classroom that I just can't find, and I'm going here and I'm in the wrong circle, and I keep passing the office. I'm always passing the Pam's office, and I'm like, oh, I can't find it. I'm gonna be late. And this is a true story. I have this nightmare, but despite that I'm haunted by this ghost of Carrollton, I really do look fondly on my years at the State. I particularly hold dear the memories of my experiences as a Park Scholar and my experiences with the faculty of the math department. I saw Dr. Power up there today. Dr. Power was my advisor. She encouraged and mentored me. And despite the fact, or maybe because of the fact that Dr. Cohen is a smart aleck of the highest degree, I still look up to her today as one of my, that's who I want to be. So we're here today, though, not because of my past, but because of your future. So it's your future I want to direct my attention to now. I've been asked to share with you something that I learned here at State or since graduation, to offer you some advice on your journey. What I keep coming back to, although in its execution is rather complex, can be summed up in one word, and that is connect. I want you to make a genuine connection with the people and places that you value. In today's world, we make a lot of our connections online. Google, Yahoo, Facebook, LinkedIn. And those connections, they have a place in your life. But those are not the connections that I'm urging you to make. The connections that I'm talking about are the kind of connections that will happen when you take the time to really get to know someone or to invest yourself fully in an institution or cause. The origin of this realization and that connecting is so important came during my first year teaching high school. That year I learned a really hard lesson. I entered teaching laterally. I had worked at State Street Research and this wasn't the deal for me. So I came in with no prior teaching experience, no education degree, and really just kind of jumped right in. I entered teaching because I love math, which I think a lot of you probably identify with that. I took the job at an all-girls prep school in Quincy, Massachusetts, and I was really excited to start teaching what I love, which is math. My passion was really for the math, and I did make a genuine connection with math, and that's one thing that I did right. However, I really paid no attention to who happened to be filling the seats in my classroom. Really, what did that matter? I had my lesson all planned out, I was ready to go, and it was pretty much irrelevant to me who was sitting in those seats. Well, that was not a success. After the first quarter, and yes, it took me that long. That's 9 weeks, people. Okay. After the first quarter, I started to get the idea that something wasn't working. One day I was having a conversation with another teacher who referred to one of my students as an artist. That was kind of like a light bulb going off, because I realized I had no idea she was an artist. In fact, about my students, I knew nothing other than the basic factual information. Well, by failing to make that connection with my students, I failed to engage them in my purpose, which was teaching math. They didn't care what I had to say because who was I? That lack of connection was making it impossible to draw from my students what I needed from them. Well, in order to change my situation, I started mixing things up again. I shared more about myself with them and asked more about their lives. I started attending more school events, which strengthened my connection with my students and with the school itself by investing more in myself and its success. I will say, honestly, that I did not manage to make a connection with each of my kids that year. I could have messed up enough at the beginning that I really didn't get all of them back. But I will tell you that my second year teaching and every single year since then, I have made it my #1 goal to connect with each student in my class on a personal level and an academic level. Now, some of you might be interested in teaching, and therefore it's completely obvious how this lesson applies to your life. But for those of you not interested in teaching, rest assured that this lesson is universal. For whether you are a leader of a classroom or a boardroom, I know that those of you sitting here today will be leaders tomorrow. You will work on a team. You will need things from coworkers, bosses, clients, and even competitors. Your ability to connect with these people and the school or company for whom you work encourage you to put in the extra effort that it requires to show up at events, to get to know people, and to genuinely care enough to connect with those who will help you accomplish your goals. Lastly, in the theme of connection, I encourage you to continue a connection that I'm sure you've deeply and strongly established, and that's your connection with NC State, PAMS, and the math department. 2 years ago, I joined the PAMS Alumni and Friends Advisory Board, and it's been a wonderful experience for me. I also continue to give back to state in many different ways, through the Park Scholars Program, through Arts NC State. But I encourage you to find your own way of continuing your connection with PAMS. I hope that as you go out into the world and make those connections that I talked about earlier, that you will speak with pride about your experience as a PAMS student. I hope that you will serve as a mentor to future PAMS grads who will follow in your footsteps. And I hope you will keep your connection with NC State alive by keeping in touch with the people who mentored you while you were here. By keeping that connection alive, you can ensure that your commitment to excellence will be passed on to the next generation of PAMS graduates. As I leave you today, I remind you of my message, which is connect. Thank you for having me here today. Can I come back?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
The contract isn't done.
All right, great.
So we move on to really the event you came for today, and that is celebration. We start out with the presentation of the underground of the board, and Dr. John Rex will do the presentation. On a side note, that our students are so good, much better than anybody else in the university, that we usually win at least 2 out of the 3 Conference Awards. And so this year we won again 2 out of the 3. So that only shows that mathematics is really an investment.
So the reason that I'm up here and Dr. Jeff Scroggs is not up here, Jeff has a family emergency that he's attending to in his hometown in Arkansas. And although I'm glad that he's doing that for his sake and his family's sake, why did I agree to be his backup? I'm questioning my own decision in that regard. So you're getting the backup. Occasionally, somebody that's a backup will come in and do something memorable. I'm hoping to mess up sufficiently that they will never ask me to be a backup. Unintentionally going to mispronounce a couple names. I did practice, but as you know, you might know, practice makes permanent. Practice does not necessarily make perfect. So I may practice the incorrect pronunciation, but I would want to tell you that I really practiced it really well. So it may be incorrect, but it is not because I didn't practice. I think the best way to do this, the first group that's going to be recognized will be those that are getting a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. This will seem like a lot of people moving at the same time, but if I could get those folks to come out of your seats and gather in this area, to my left and your right, we'll proceed. Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. The applied math people will be next. three people before we begin to hand out the diplomas. And just so you know, when you do get back to your seats, there's not actually a diploma in there. The diploma, once everything has been cleared, will be mailed to you. So it is ceremonial, but it looks good in the picture. So each year, our college, Physical and Mathematical Sciences, that name soon to change, gives awards in the area of leadership, scholarly achievement, and a research award winner. So we nominate from the math department, and that goes up against nominees in chemistry and statistics and all the schools in our college. As Dr. Koenig said, we have, of our three nominees, two of them actually got the PAMS award. But it is an honor to just get nominated from within your department, whether you get the PAMS award or not. So the first nominee for the PAMS Research Award was our math department nominee, but did not receive the PAMS award. But we'd like to recognize Aaron Marcus as our Research Award nominee. Well, I wanted to minimize the amount of people crawling over other people because they're, as you're testifying, this is not real roomy. Where your legs are and the back of the seat in front of you.
And I'm taking pictures, so make sure when you're getting an award, you stop, post here, and these will be online for everyone to download and the parents and family to get copies of. Over you.
So those of you in the overflow room that didn't hear Shema, she will be taking pictures and she'll post those, and you'll be able to download those from the website. The second recognition is the PAMS Leadership Award. She was our nominee and then won the award from all of our 5 schools in our college. PAMS Leadership Award, Catherine Acatelli. The third award also won the PAMS award, but was obviously the mathematics nominee. Also, Scholarly Achievement Award, Kevin Barkat. In your program, there is a section where the mathematics minors are also listed. I'm not going to recognize all of their names, but I did want to call attention to this part of your program where the math minors are listed. So as Jeff wrote down for me to read, if you paid all your bills and if you passed all your classes, NCSU will mail you a diploma, and he wrote down in about 3 months. Hopefully it's sooner. Before we hand out diplomas, there's a lot of work that goes to putting on an event like this. And you experienced today some of the problems we've had in the past as far as people coming to the graduation and we didn't have enough seats. So therefore the ticket process came into being, and we have an overflow room. Not that any of you in the overflow room are real happy about being in the overflow room, but at least you're participating via camera operated by Janet Bird. But I want to tell you who, and we need to recognize the lady who really does most of what is done behind the scenes, and she's the lead organizer, and she is Di Butler. Participating in helping Denise Seabrooks, Shema Bennett Shabir, Shema's taking pictures, holler and stand up and clap. But I'm going to be reading some things, and you wouldn't be able to hear what I'm reading about each of these graduates. So we will applaud them all at the end of the math group before we get the applied math group up here. Is that believable?
No.
My own son is graduating tomorrow, and his mother, my wife, is also getting her degree tomorrow. And I'm going to hoot and holler because I actually get to keep my paycheck instead of getting it from NC State and then just giving it back to NC State. It's going to be a happy day, but I'll try to behave myself. The first Bachelor of Science in Math graduate that we recognize, Catherine Acapelli. Her second major is Mathematics Education. Graduating cum laude. She was our PAMS Leadership Award. So I didn't say this, and I should have. When you get your diploma, you can go ahead and either take your seat or a seat. Taylor Allison. Taylor is magna cum laude, University Scholars Program, and Mathematics Honors Program. Kevin. Kevin Barquette, second major is physics. He's valedictorian, Mathematics Honors Program, PAMS Scholarly Achievement Award. Visal Derusju, graduating magna cum laude. I practiced that name. Jonathan Blake, graduating cum laude, minor in statistics. Tyler Brannon, second major is math education, also a valedictorian, the minor in physics. Allison Camrus, second major meteorology, graduating summa cum laude. Yo Chu, second major in physics, valedictorian, Mathematics Honors Program. Jihan Cole,
I can't see.
Alyssa Elliott, William Felker, second major arts application, film studies concentration, also valedictorian. Jeffrey Fowler, summa cum laude, minor in physics, Mathematics Honors Program. Stuart Gordon, second major math education, valedictorian, minor in Spanish. Xavier Johnson, Nicholas Chielli, Caitlin Clalo, Jamelia Lackey, second major math education, graduating cum laude. Matthew Moracle, Kyle Nichols, Jordan Henley, second major math education, magna cum laude. Timothy Pluta, magna cum laude. graduating magna cum laude. Sean Reynolds, second major electrical engineering, third major computer engineering, summa cum laude, mathematics honors program. All that, not able to come. Too busy. Brian Richardson, second major physics, third major philosophy, minor in computer programming, graduating cum laude. Matthew Roberts. Joel Robinson. Nicole Schlack. Holly Shea, graduating summa cum laude, University Scholars Program. Aaron Sisler. William Smith. Sarah Teormina, second major, math education, cum laude. Diana Tingen. Danielle Varnell. Leah Vaughn, second major, math education, summa cum laude. Alicia Williams. James Wren, summa cum laude, University Scholars Program. Molly Wright, second major, math education, summa cum laude. Now we can clap. Now if I can ask the Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics, if they would come up here to my left and your right. Once again, if you hold your applause and recognition until we have finished with this group of graduates. Daniel Bailey, magna cum laude, minor in statistics. Samuel Blondin, minor in economics. Kelsey Cook, second major, statistics, magna cum laude. Timothy Dannenhofer, second major, aerospace engineering, valedictorian. Zach Gifford, second major, nuclear engineering. Brittany Glatz, second major, chemical engineering, magna cum laude. Jeffrey Goring, second major, statistics, valedictorian, mathematics honors program. Jason Height, Cody Hogue, cum laude, minors, economics and statistics. Tyler Hong, minor in statistics. Eric Hudgens, minor in Japanese. Russell Johnson. Adam Keith, second major physics, valedictorian, minor in computer programming. Samuel Kinney, second major physics, graduating cum laude. Sarah Kivett, minor in economics. Aaron Lamb, second major statistics. Daniel Lau, second major computer science, cum laude. Aaron Marcus, second major physics, cum laude, University Scholars Program, math nominee for the PAMS Research Award. Marshall Markham, valedictorian. Matthew Snipes, second major statistics, cum laude. Wesley Stewart, second major statistics, summa cum laude, University Scholars Program, Mathematics Honors Program. Christopher Toons, second major computer science, cum laude. Nathan Tryon, second major biochemistry, magna cum laude. Chong Wong, second major statistics, summa cum laude, Mathematics Honors Program. I was told to read them all. Okay? They're on the backup. Andrew Wagaman, second major computer science, cum laude. Howard Whittle, second major physics, summa cum laude. Nathan Zager, second major statistics, magna cum laude, University Scholars Program. So I run the risk of making this statement and losing my job. You would think that I would say my boss, Dr. Helmig, was my favorite professor in the whole department. That's not true. But the next gentleman to come up here is my favorite professor in the entire department, Ernie Stitzen.
I think you might give Jeff a run for his money, so I need to decide if have Jeff come back or whether to go to you. It was a job. So I'm pleased that the presentation of the graduate degrees will be done by Dr. Ernest.
To begin with, we are going to award the financial math degrees. Jess Groggs runs that program, but he's not here to do this, so I'll do it. So, Yuju Chen, when I call out the names, please come up. And you can applaud. Yiju Chen. Yiju is from Taiwan City in Taiwan. Chiyun Chang. Chiyun is from Tainan in Taiwan. Deng Deng Ning Ding is from Beijing. Mark Jane. Mark is from Brevard, and he has a position at SAS. Ai-Quing Liu. Ai-Quing is from Jinan, China. YG Ma. YG is from Chengdu, China. Sarah Meadows. Sarah is from Fort Myers, Florida, and she has a position at SAS. Yvonne Ramahota. Yvonne is from Hyderabad, India. Madhushradan Ramaravan. Henry Skiba. Henry's from Richmond, and he has a position at the Financial Risk Group. Rewat Tanat Therion. Xiao Shen. And she also has a position at SAS. SAS is very lucky. Tishong. All right, now I'm going to introduce the folks who are getting master's degrees. Eugenia Bakanova. Eugenia's hometown is Chapel Hill. She was an undergrad at UNC, Carolina. Her advisor in getting a master's degree was John Harlem, and she's going to go on to pursue a PhD at Penn State in economics. Dina Hanoun. Angeline Hendricks. Angeline is from Port Isabel, Texas. She got her bachelor's degree from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Her advisor is Jim Selgrave, and she's working on her PhD here. And she's continuing on to get a PhD. Pavel Wright. Pavel was from Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. He went to Franklin Pierce College as an undergraduate. Brett Coonley. Brett is from Burlington, Connecticut, and he got his undergraduate degree at Bates College, and he's continuing on for a PhD also. Moses Kim. Anna Mead. Anna is from Chapin, South Carolina. She went to undergraduate school at Mississippi State. She's continuing on for a PhD and working with Tim Kelly. Matt Watson. All right, now I'm going to introduce the folks who are receiving their doctorate degrees. So, David Mobrower. David worked with Tim Kelly. Clay Thompson. Clay is from Harrisville, North Carolina. He got his undergraduate degree at Carolina. He worked with Tom Banks, and he's a postdoc at SAMC in the Triangle. J.T. Hurd. J.T. is from Poland, Ohio. He got his undergraduate degree at Youngstown State in Ohio. His advisors were Naiwan Jing and me, and he has got a position at West Virginia Tech. Rob Stapleton. Rob worked with Larry Norris. Evan Wilson. Evan is from Burnsville, Minnesota. He got his undergraduate degree at Wheaton College. He worked with Kalish Misra, who was back there. And he is going on to a postdoc in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Cheng Ji Wu. Cheng Ji worked with Min Kang. That's it.
So thank you, Ernie. I hope we didn't forget anybody. If we forgot anybody, please stand up and we honor you anyhow. Let's have the two at once and we will be embarrassed. So let's still give a round of applause to all. Parents, friends, and family. Without their support, you would never have come here. And can I ask all the faculty in attendance to stand up? Probably most of them are in the overflow room, but John already has thanked all the staff putting this event together. I want to invite you to come and have a piece of cake and lots of good time and laughter outside in the lobby on the first floor. If you want any pictures, we'll be standing here and you can get